Welcome to Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, a weekly journey into the spiritual world with evidential medium Stacy Niedenthal. With nearly 10 years of experience offering transformative private, group, and platform readings, Stacy is also a passionate mentor, guiding students for over 5 years to unlock their intuitive gifts. She is the author of 2 impactful books, My Head Knows, But My Heart Still Hurts, a 30-day grief recovery journal, and My Crystal Addiction Diary, an exploration of crystal and stone energy for healing. So please welcome the host of Connecting to Spirit, Stacy Niedenthal.
Hello and welcome to Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. I'm evidential medium Stacy Niedenthal. I'm also a child of God and spiritual healer. And each week we come to you on Bold Brave Media and we talk about things that maybe you're not comfortable in talking to other people about, or maybe you have some curiosities about the spirit realm and alignment and balance and meditation. And tonight we're going to talk about all of these things. But I wanted to kind of put a little bit of a Christmas twist to it. The holidays are right around the corner, and I'm sure you're all busy making cookies or preparing for your meals, and you're going through the recipe books and you're going through the old recipes that maybe belong to your mom or to your grandmom. And there's a quote that comes to mind that you popped up the other day that I thought, oh, this is the perfect thing to talk about. And the quote's by Thomas Keller. And the quote goes, "A recipe has no soul. You, as the cook, brings the soul to the recipe." So I thought how fitting it was to talk about cooking and recipes and your soul and your spirit, especially this time of year. We get all kind of all in a funk. We have all these things that we need to do, holiday parties, and like I said, the cooking and baking and things like that. And when we're doing this, we take such time to prepare and to look up certain ingredients of how much we need to use and how many we need to make and what's the right amount, the different types and flavors of cookies and baked goods that we want to have at these holiday parties. So I thought, why don't we look at the recipe as finding the perfect ingredients and the components for the recipe for yourself for a thankful life, for a life in alignment and balance and consciousness, to be able to kind of break free from the things that hold us back. And I know it's a little bit of a stretch to think of it this way, but if you just bear with me for a little while, we're just here together for about an hour. I just want you to, open your mind to the opportunities, or the possibilities, I guess is a better word, that when you look at the recipe that you're cooking or that you're baking, there's so many things that could go wrong. Same with life. Too much of something, too little of something. It's not good for the mind, the body, and the spirit. It's not good for the cookie dough. So when you look at certain things and you compare it, how many times have you used someone else's recipe, the exact recipe, but it just doesn't taste the same? It's the same with our lives. We think to ourselves, we do the same exact thing that Susie does. How come, Susie's all, put together and everything's going well with her? Why does she seem so more balanced? Well, maybe they were the right ingredients for her, but not the right ingredients for you. So we're going to delve into talking about the components, the measurements that you put into your life so that you can get your life into alignment, so you can raise your vibrational energy around you. So, and the vibrational energy within you as well. You've heard so many times, what you put into something is what you get out of it. So if you are kind of chinsing on the things that you do for yourself, it's kind of what you're going to get. If you're not adding enough ingredients in a recipe, it's not going to come out very well. So let's look at you know, how I feel the perfect ingredients would be in your daily life. And every day is not perfect, and I know that, but we want to talk about what we can put into our daily lives, what practices that we can put in so that we can raise our vibration, so that we can get rid of the things that we don't need, and we can find our mind, our body, and our spirit in a little bit better of alignment. So there's some suggestions that I'm going to put out there to help you to find some balance, to think about, am I overdoing this or am I underdoing this? Like, do you overthink things or do you underthink? Are you too spontaneous? These are certain things that you want to, weigh out the ingredients for. So we're going to compare the ingredients, the components in your life to find the perfect formula, I guess is a good way to say it, to align your body. Wouldn't it be nice if you could wake up in the morning and know that it was going to be a beautiful day? Everything was going to go your way. And if it didn't, you would be in the right place in your spirit, in your energy to say, you know what, I can figure it out. So, again, like I said, it's a little bit of a stretch. It's a little bit hokey, maybe, but I thought, hey, it's fun. Come join and let's play. So, when you think about yourself, you were created by the master chef, right? No greater chef. You are his creation. You are creator's creation. And there's all these things, all these possibilities that you can add to your life. Maybe you want to go on to school. Maybe you don't want to go on to school. Maybe you want to work for yourself. Maybe you want to be an artist. But there are all these things that you need to put inside of yourself and learn about in order for you to have the right end result. So when you think about the free will that you have a bigger purpose on this life, in this world. You have a soul purpose, a soul journey, and you may not know what that is. And it may be your soul journey right now, but it might change a little bit later on, because now you've fully encompassed learning something and now you could stretch it a little bit. Have you ever done a taffy pull where you think the taffy just won't pull any further and it gets a little bit warmer and it pulls a little bit more? Isn't that kind of what our energy is like as well? We think, oh my gosh, we just can't take any more. And then all of a sudden something happens, someone steps in to help, and we think to ourselves, oh my goodness, I can figure this out. I can do this. So, a lot of different things, a lot of different ingredients go into the recipe. And when you're adding things, and maybe you're making something that you don't exactly have the recipe for. My grandmother, I swear to God, she never had a recipe for anything. She was just, a pinch of this, a pinch of this, and, whatever. How long do you cook it? Till it's done. That was always her answer, till it's done. So as you're adding these things in faith, you don't know how it's going to taste when you're done, but you continue to add a teaspoon or a tablespoon of this, a dash of this. And there are things that can go wrong, but then there's also a way to maneuver it back so that it turns out right. So if you add too much, if your temperature on your oven is not right, you could burn it or you could undercook things. So we need to get the temperature gauge right. And that's something we're going to talk about. So let's think about the items, the ingredients, keeping in mind the master chef has created you to do these wonderful things on earth. And no matter how big or how small they are, they're all wonderful. But we need to figure them out. How can I best serve the earth? How can I best be of service to others? How can I walk through a trauma? What do I need to learn? What are the ingredients? What are the components in this that will help the outcome be tasty? So you have a purpose on this earth and your energy level needs to be up. And You're part of this larger plan, and sometimes our energy level gets defeated. Well, you know what? You start over because there's always a way to figure things out. So, in doing this, you want to start to think about how you are feeling, thinking, showing love. How are you acting? How are you showing up for others? What you put out into the universe is what comes back. So if you're always in a bad mood, then people who are in a bad mood are going to surround you. But how you love and think and feel and respond to things, that's your soul and your energy and your spirit showing up. That's what's deep within you. And taking that look within yourself and saying, okay, who am I? What's inside of me? What's my filling? You know, what's my cookie flavor? Who do I want to be? You're the chef of your own life. The recipe doesn't have the soul. The chef brings the soul. So the free will that you were given gives you a chance to learn lessons, not make mistakes, and maneuver it into other directions to allow you to create something better. You know, you try someone's chocolate chip cookie and you add one or two things, and oh my gosh, this makes it so much better. Who knew a little bit of Himalayan salt in a chocolate chip cookie recipe could be, oh, unbelievable? So when I look deeper into myself and when I think about what's within me and what I've been through, where I'm going, what's keeping me back, I have to look at the people that I surround myself in. I have to look at faith and trust and loyalty. I have to look into the direction that I'm going in. This is all part of the components to the Stacy Niedenthal recipe. Now, I'm not standing in judgment of anyone, but I'm always curious. I love to ask questions. Why do you think that way? Why do you feel that way? What made you do this? I'm always curious to see how other people's minds work. What they feel like they need those ingredients to be, what the cooking instructions for them need to be, what makes them tick. And we're going to talk about that a little bit deeper when we get back from this first break. But I just want you to sit back and think for some, maybe have some milk and cookies while you're talking to me, you know? But think about what would you want in your life that would bless you? So when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So stay tuned. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll be right back.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com.
Welcome back to Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. I am your host, Evidential Medium Stacy Niedenthal. Before the break, we were talking about our spiritual recipe to find blessings and gratefulness and thankfulness. And you know what? If you missed the first part of it, you can always rewatch it on YouTube or other streaming programs. But I'm so glad that you're here. So before we left, we were talking about me taking this inner look within myself. And I'm putting this all in the philosophy, I guess you could say it, of baking cookies. So I want to look what's deep within myself. I want to take a look at how I want the inside to match the outside. People can be absolutely beautiful on the inside. I'm sorry, yes, on the inside, but on the outside, not so much, and vice versa. So we want the inside and the outside to match. So we want to look at what we want our outcome to be. And we're looking at kind of the recipe, the ingredients for a peaceful, perfect, blissful day. You know, that's one of our goals. No stress. I just want to have a good day. So if you're thinking about this, this is the outcome that we want to have. So if we were talking about cooking, and let's say you're making pasta, you have to think, okay, do I want this al dente? Do I want sauce? If I want sauce on it, do I want red sauce or white sauce? And what do I want in the sauce? Do I want hot peppers or do I want what? How do I want to do that? What's the finished product going to look like? What do we want that to look like? So if we want to have a blessed day, if we want to have a good day, we have to start out with a good day. You wake up in the morning, today's going to be the best day ever. It's the mindset. I feel as if that soul recipe is just kind of bubbling up within us to find thankfulness. Aren't you always looking for something to be grateful for? So we want to experience the blessings in our soul, in our spirit, in our energy. So how do we arrive at thankfulness? Even in the chaos, some people say to me, oh, you wouldn't understand the things that have happened to me. I've lost 3 loved ones in over the past year, or I just lost my job and I've got this. And how am I supposed to be thankful? So it's looking for the blessings, being aware of the blessings, no matter how large or how small. Here are some ingredients, some components that I was thinking that you would need to walk into thankfulness. So when you're walking into something, first you have to have something to walk into, right? So we all have the dream of a good life, the dream of a thankful life, the dream of a blessed life. We want our family and our friends to thrive and to be healthy and to be good. And at the end of our lives, we want to be able to say, I had a good life. And even if we go through stressful times, we figured it out. I had a good life. I learned a lot of lessons. I did a lot of things. I did a lot good. I did a lot bad. So the dream, right? So we're doing the recipe to thankfulness, to gratefulness. So the dream takes thought, prayer, and meditation. To me, these are your most important components. You know, I have to dream about it. What's my vision? I have to think about it. I have to pray about it, meditate about it. So I find clarity. And so that I found balance. So I know that I'm in the right place at the right time and I know when to make the move and I know how it's going to go. And even if it goes a different way, I have the trust in knowing that my guides, that spirit, that God are going to put me back into the right direction. So once you have these elements incorporated into your daily life, then you set your intentions. Okay. And your intentions cannot be wishy-washy. You don't want to say someday, hopefully, maybe, if. No, you want to be able to say, sorry, I'm trying to find something here. There we go. You want to be able to say, here's what I'm seeing. Here's my dream. I've thought about it. Here's how I see it unfolding. I need you to put the right people in my path so that I can do such and such. So you're setting the intention. You have the mindset that you need. It's not wishy-washy. Maybe, hopefully, someday, if. You know what? It's not going to happen. That sets the temperature gauge. So you preheat your oven, correct? Before you put your cookies in. And you don't want to have it on 150 and cook your cookies for 10 minutes. You know, where does it need to be? 350? You know, how long does it need to be in there? And when you're thinking about what your intention is, have you responded or have you reacted hastily? Have you fully thought it out? Other side of the coin is, have I procrastinated about it too much? Am I overthinking it? Does it need to be perfect? Am I afraid? Okay. These are all the things that will stop you. But when you think, here's what my outcome is, and here's what my vision is, and I've thought about it, and I've prayed about it, and I've set my intentions, my oven temperature, my mindset is right. Okay. So check in with yourself. How you feeling about that? How does it feel within your spirit? How do you feel about the decision that you're making to move forward with what your intentions are? Do you have a clear path? Do you know what the outcome is going to be? Because you have free will to make your own masterpiece. And this is your masterpiece. You are a soul living a human life. I've heard that from several mentors that I have studied over years. You know, what's within you and what's outside of you are two different things. So it's meditating, it's stirring things up, it's creating the right mixture in your bowl so that you can create your masterpiece. This is the action that you need to take. If you have a vision and a dream and you're not putting any action behind it, then all it is a vision and a dream. There's not going to be an outcome. So you have to put action behind it. You know, and think about it. If you were to make bread, let's say, and you dumped flour and water and eggs into a bowl, didn't mix it up, put it in a pan, popped it in the oven, what would you have? You'd have a big clump of nothing. It would be like a rock. So you have to measure the ingredients. You have to mix them the proper way. You need to add yeast so that it rises. So that's your vibration. You need to raise your vibration. Because the outcome is what you're working towards. Thankfulness, gratefulness, plenty. Okay. So there needs to be an action. And then the action is your path of your intention. Getting really deep here, getting really deep. Are you with me so far? So now we're on the path of the intention, from the action, from the thought, from the prayer, from the dream. Now we're on this journey. And our life is our journey. And it can be a good journey or it could be a bad journey. You have a choice. And I know some journeys are hard. I don't know why some people have a rougher life than others. But I have met so many people in my life who have had a very rough life, but their state of mind, their forethought about things is beautiful. And then I've met people who have a very easy life. You know, they have, financially they're good, their status in the community is good, they live in a nice house, their kids are good, but something's missing within them and they're sad. So it's finding the right combination of things, the right action, so that you find thankfulness, so that your recipe, your soul energy says, that's right. That's who I am. I did that. I made that. You're making this award-winning cookie dough. I don't know. So you've got this journey, and along this journey are experiences. And experiences are learning lessons. You want to look at them, see how they feel, go back again and check in. What's my end result? Where do I want to be? How does it feel? Have you ever done something that just didn't feel right? And after you did it, you thought, you know what? I knew I should have done it a different way. I just knew that I should have done it a different way. And if we go back to that bread theory that we were talking about, when you're mixing dough, when you're kneading the dough, that's the action. Sometimes the dough is really sticky, sometimes it's really dry, sometimes it's just right. But then the dough needs to rise. It needs to sit for a little while. So that's that pondering, that meditation period. Maybe you need more time to think about something. Maybe the time isn't quite right. I know without a doubt the universe will give me what I need when I need it. And I have to faithfully stand firm in saying, I'll be patient. And I'm not always good at being patient. I say that I'll be patient, but then I'm like, where's it at? Why isn't it coming? Well, because my cookies aren't done yet. It needs to be in the oven for a little longer. My bread, the dough needs to rise a little bit more. There's some piece, some intricate piece that's missing. So that's when I go back within myself and say, okay, what can I do better? Where do I want to be? How do I get there? What's the path? What's the outcome? What maneuvers do I need to make? What do I need to get rid of? Maybe there's something in your mixing bowl that you don't need. Maybe that's what's stopping you. Maybe that is what is clogging up the energy within yourself. And through all of this, through this action, all of a sudden there's growth and learning. I love to learn. You like to learn? I never used to think I would like to learn. Good grief. I wasn't always the greatest person in school. I wasn't always in school. And now that I'm out of school, I'm like, man, why didn't I pay better attention? Why didn't I do this? This is because I want to learn. I want to be better at being me, the authentic, original me. I want to get rid of the stress in my life and I want to serve others and help others. So, as you're following your directions and you're taking that deep look within you, maybe there's some boundaries that you need to set up. Maybe there's ingredients that you don't need, people, places, and things. I talked about that this morning on Connecting to Spirit with Stacy's Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I talked about recovery, deciding to be on a spiritual journey. What do I need? What don't I need? There was a quote that the Dalai Lama did that said, how well did you live? How well did you let go of things? That's all part of the journey. And you set these learning lessons in place and you add a little bit more or you take a little bit more away. Do I need to add some more milk? Do I need eggs? Do I need to mix it up a little bit more? Does it need to cook a little bit longer or bake a little bit longer? Then you get to the destination, the finale, the outcome. Is it victory? Or do you need to start again? You know how many times I've started baking or cooking something and I throw it away and I start with something else because it's just not turning out the right way. And starting again is not failure. You learn from the things that you missed the first time, or, oh, shoot, did I use baking soda or baking powder? Because the recipe calls for baking powder, but I have baking soda out. They're so similar. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, if you're a baker, you know what the difference is. But think about it. Isn't that kind of how life is? Things that are very similar, we think, I'll just substitute it for this. So all of this journey all of these adjustments, all of these letting go of things, adding things, learning things, create feelings and emotions. And in those feelings and emotions, that's where you find the blessings. How did it make you feel? How did it make you feel? I choose to create blessings. I choose to receive blessings. I want to feel the blessings. And sometimes they're hard to find. I tell you, when my son was small, oh, I guess we have to take a quick break here. I didn't even see that over there. When we get back, I will tell you about this little story that you're going to get a chuckle out of. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Connecting to Spirit with Stacy at Bold Brave TV.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio, as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Welcome back to Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. I'm evidential medium Stacy Niedenthal, and you're watching, like I said, Connecting to Spirit. And if you're just joining us, welcome. You can always rewatch the replay. That's not always easy to say, on YouTube or on my social medias or Bold Brave Media. But before the break, we were talking about the recipe for thankfulness. You know, I had to put that little Christmas, that holiday twist on it. And I was talking about finding thankfulness, finding gratefulness, even in the small things. And I was getting ready to tell you a cute story that used to drive my husband crazy, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So I have 3 children, And when my son was little, I don't know how old he was. Let's just say he was about 12 or 13 years old. I had a black Nissan Altima, and I was doing something in the house, and he came running in and he was all excited because he had washed my car for me. Now, some 13-year-olds are really, really tall. My 13-year-old son was about, I don't know. He wasn't that tall. Let's just say that. So you've got this black car that was totally dirty, and he washed and he got to almost the whole thing, but he couldn't get the whole like roof of the car. And I remember saying, "Oh my gosh, that's great. Thank you so much." And my husband was just like, "Look how much he missed." And I'm like, "Yeah, but look how much he got." And he took the initiative to do this to surprise me. And Jeff, who's my husband, said, "Why do you always have to look for the positive things?" Because that's who I am. I have to find the positive in anything, everything. And yes, it drove me a little crazy for about a week until I went to the car wash and washed it. But I couldn't take away from what my son had decided to do for me to surprise me. So even though certain things kind of drove me crazy about only, the top part of my car being dirty, I left it go because there was a blessing in that. And I feel like it blessed him as well. So, like all recipes, there's different ingredients depending on what the outcome is going to be. Different measurements. Certain things are needed, certain things are not needed. Sometimes you have to let the ingredients sit overnight, like we were talking about with the bread. It has to rise. This is part of the dream. I have to think about it overnight. I have to visualize it. I have to. And I'm that person that if someone says, "Oh, I can see you doing so and so," I don't see it. But then sometimes I go, "Ooh, I can see that now." I have to be able to visualize it. It has to come in my brain. I have to be able to see it in my third eye, in my mind's eye. So we all create these different things, all these different dreams. And we find gratefulness. We find blessings in everything. I don't care what it is, I can find a blessing in it for you. Email me something that happened, and I bet you I can find the blessing. It might take me a little while, but I'll find it. So every year, this time of year, my adult kids and my grandkids, we all get together and we make Christmas cookies. We're doing it this Saturday. And each year we have a list of what cookies the kids want to make. I go out and buy the ingredients. We go downstairs. We've got the gym cafetorium, so we've got this large kitchen down there, and we make cookies. Every year, my son and my husband, now they haven't asked for it yet this year, so shh, they want raisin-filled cookies. Do I make raisin-filled cookies because I like them? No, I don't like raisin-filled cookies. I don't even like raisins. And if you've ever made raisin-filled cookies, they're a pain in the butt to make. You need to make the dough and let the dough sit, and then you have to make the filling and warm up the raisins and make all the goop that goes inside. And then you roll the dough out and you cut these, circles, and then you take the filling that's been cooled off and you put it inside, and then you have to put another piece on top and you have to seal it, and then you bake it. And literally, I get one batch of cookies made to their 3 batches because it takes so long to do this. Is it worth it? The time to me to make these cookies? No. But as soon as my guys take a bite out of them and I see their smile, there's the blessing. I did a service to them, something for them that was a pain in the butt for me, but I did it for them. So it's finding where the blessings are, creating blessings, doing service for others. So the ingredients in our consciousness of our life, of our spirit, of our energy takes time, and it takes do-overs, and it takes sacrifice. It takes really acknowledging things that are around us. I have a friend of mine that loves to bake. And when she has a new cake recipe, she makes everything from scratch. She will literally make 2 cakes, a test cake and the cake she's taken to the party. Because there might need to be some adjustments, or maybe she made this new cake and she doesn't like the way it looks or it tastes. Sometimes things are out of our control, but you're the chef to your own life, to your own soul journey. You're the only one that can make the adjustments to the ingredients. You hold the instructions within you. Everything you need is surrounding you. You just have to find them, acknowledge them, visualize them, and put them into motion. In our life alignment, sometimes we need to reset and rethink. Things change. The actions of others that are unforeseen to us can literally knock the wind out of us. But how we respond shows what our character is, what our soul journey is, what our empathetic forgiveness within ourselves is, where it goes. Some things need to be taken away, some things need to be added. Rethought, rethinking things. What are the right components? What are the wrong components? You make adjustments. That's what life is about, making adjustments to find peace within ourselves, to find the balance. And if we lose our balance, we make an adjustment. We navigate it. Maybe you really didn't think, like I said, there was a big difference between baking powder and baking soda, but there is. So you find what the difference is. What did I do that I didn't receive the outcome that I was looking for? What am I feeling? Do your research. You're the chef. What do? You dream, you pray, you meditate, you go into action, right? You raise your vibration within yourself while calming your breath down, receiving clear vision or asking for clear vision for this outcome. Set intentions. And if you're really bunched up about something, do a random act of kindness for someone. I know that may sound odd. Take the focus off of you and put it on someone else. Just do a small random act of kindness for someone. And if they say to you, how can I ever repay you? You just say, you know what? You do a random act of kindness for someone else. Add to someone else's recipe. Give them the new ingredient. Random act of kindness. Make sense? Are you following me? Or am I just like off in left field? So, in bringing this to your attention, ask yourself, what's in my recipe? Where do I want to find the blessings? Because the quote clearly states that the recipe has no soul. You, as the cook, the chef, must bring soul to the recipe. It's all part of your ingredients. It's all part of who you are. I had to walk through some really crappy stuff from my past in order to find out who I was. And when I reflect, when I look at my life recipe, I have a dream, right? I have the vision and I'm thinking about it. I mean, I would love to be able to heal everyone in the world, one person at a time, and let them know that they are important and that they are loved and that they are needed and that they are not alone. I can't do the whole world by myself. But if I can reach one person at a time and help them find some type of healing from within them that gives them this extra ingredient in their life, don't you think the recipe would be a little bit more special? So you think about the dream, you think about the path, the thought, the prayer, the meditation, the intention, the path, the action, the journey, the experience, the lessons, the destination, the finale, the feelings, the blessings, and the thankfulness. There it is. My recipe to gather blessings. Each and every one of us is a blessing to someone. We have to recognize that blessing within us. You know, we were all once nothing, and we were created by the master chef to do great things in this world. But we get screwed up somehow. We get all bunched up within ourselves. You have to find the special ingredient. And I'm probably aging myself when I say this. But the Waltons, there were these sisters, and they had a special recipe. And I mean, I know that it was probably moonshine, but they were always happy and giggling and willing to share it. So are you willing to share your special ingredient? Just want you to think about that for a few minutes. We have to take our last break. And when we get back, I'm going to come to the conclusion and wrap this all up for you. But we'll be back in a minute. All right, stay tuned.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of The Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on The Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Dr. RC will share extraordinary resources and services that promote educational success, as well as making a difference in the lives of all social workers, as well as the lives of children, adolescents, and teens of today. She will have open discussions addressing many of the issues that we face about our youth and how being employed in the uniquely skilled profession of social work for over 18 years has taught invaluable lessons through her personal experiences. She will also provide real-life facts, examples, and personal stories that will confirm that why serving as a child advocate is extremely beneficial when addressing the needs of the whole child. Listen live to Dare to Soar, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network, and tune in radio as Dr. RC will provide thought-provoking information that will empower, encourage, and strengthen students, families, and communities across our nation. You can also visit her at soarwithkatie.com.
Hi, welcome back to Connecting to Spirit. I'm evidential medium Stacy Niedenthal, and your connection to Spirit Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on Bold Brave Media. You know, if you've just joined us, welcome. You can always watch you can always watch the replay. I don't know if it's an instant replay. That sounds like football, doesn't it? But you can always watch the replay on YouTube or on Bold Brave Media. You can go to my social media, Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. But we were talking about a recipe, the ingredients for a blessed life, to find enlightenment and balance within your mind, your body, and your spirit. The things that maybe need to be added and some things that need to be taken away from what's within you. Sometimes we need to take that deep dive within ourselves and have a spiritual awakening. I swear, once I started releasing the things that were holding me back, the negative thoughts that I had in my own brain that I wasn't able to do something or I needed to work through. I don't really know if you want to call it a trauma, but I had to work through a situation that happened to me years ago and I had to release it. All of a sudden, I felt lighter and my vibration started to rise. And I started to see things in a different way because I needed to adjust the ingredients that were within me. I needed to meditate on it. I needed to think about it. I needed to trust that the universe had my back. The creator said, "Look, Stacy, we've got great things for you to do. The only one that's stopping you right now is you. You need to put the soul in the recipe because you are the cook to the recipe. You're the one who is at the helm." There's a quote that says something about only you can steer your own ship. Nobody else has the right to switch your blessings around. Boundaries will help that. Vision will help that. What you put out into the universe is what you get back. So I kind of got off the track, but I was talking about the sisters on the Waltons, that they had this special recipe. And they were always smiling and laughing, and they were always willing to share it. So we talked about random acts of kindness. But what if you shared blessings that you received and didn't boast about it? That's one of my pet peeves. If you do something special for someone, I don't want to read about it on social media. Oh, there was a woman in front of me at the grocery store and she didn't have enough money, so I paid for it. No, you just took that blessing away from that woman. Now, if that woman goes on social media and says, thank you to the person behind me who paid my grocery bill because I was $20 short, totally different. But pass the blessings on, pass the cookies around, share them. You make a whole bunch of cookies and you keep them to yourself, you're going to get sick, you're going to get fat. I'm sorry. You know? Why would you keep the things to yourself? Share them. Share your knowledge and your experience. Don't boast. Don't judge. Guide, adjust, help. You, as the cook, facilitates your soul recipe. Be sure that you are aware of what's around you, what you're putting into yourself. What are you reading? What are you watching? Who are you keeping company with? Where do your thoughts go? What do you think about? Whatever you think about, that's what you become. So if you're thinking about what you fear, guess what? You become afraid of everything. If you stand in faith and say, here is my vision, come hell or high water, I'm going to figure this out. Here's my path. Here's my passion. Here's what I feel like I'm drawn to do. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to share the blessings with others. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you share the blessings with others? There's a gentleman, um, he's in Maryland. He's Danny McGee. He's got a wonderful story to tell. And he did a toy drive over the weekend, and don't paraphrase me because I'm not exactly sure how it was, but they went to Macy's and he had enough money collected, raised to purchase, I think, toys for like 500 kids. They each got like $100 gift cards. Well, what he didn't realize is for every $100 he spent, he got like a $10 coupon. So then he was blessed again. He could have kept that money and said, oh, I'm going Christmas shopping. But no, he was like, we can get toys or we can get things, coats for another 250 kids. It's seeing the blessing, acknowledging the blessing, and sharing the blessing. That's what raises your vibration. That is the recipe for a blessed life. At the end of my life, I hope that I will be able to say, I know I will be able to say, I lived a very blessed life. I lived a good life. I wanted to bless as many people as possible. And I hope that I was able to do that. And I have this vision of how to do this, but sometimes I have to adjust the recipe. Sometimes the ingredients that are in it don't need to be in it. Sometimes I choose the wrong people to help me with certain things, and I have to change that. Sometimes I need friends of mine to say, what are you doing? Let's talk about it. Giddy up. Let's go. So you need that push. My husband, huge blessing. My kids, big blessings. We've all been through it, but we figure it out. That's the recipe, figuring it out. Knowing that in all things, you are the master chef. You bring the soul to the recipe. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that it does. I hope that when I was talking about this, you weren't just like, gosh, where's this chick going? What's she talking about? You know, it's one of those things that if you can compare other things, and I always like to do that. If you can compare other things, all of a sudden something clicks and you go, I need to take this out of my recipe card book because I don't need this anymore. So, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. I come to you and I talk to you about experiences that I've had. And I would love to hear about your experiences. Feel free to email me at connectingtospiritwithstacy@gmail.com. I will answer you back. It might take me a little while. And if you would be interested in joining me on a segment, email me and we can talk about it. So, Christmas, the holidays, right around the corner. I hope you don't feel all bunched up. I hope that you are feeling the blessings that are within. And if not, take a breath, raise your vibration, change your thought process, think about it, pray about it, go back to the dream. Where's the dream? What if time and money were no object? Where would you be at? What would you be doing? So it's finding that process again. It's maneuvering around the obstacles that are trying to stop you, but it is raising the vibration within yourself, seeing the possibilities of you. You're not a mistake, and you can do anything that you put your mind to with balance, with alignment, getting rid of the gunk, watching that temperature gauge. Sometimes the temperature gauge gets a little crazy. Am I right? But you have the dream. We all have a dream. Meditate, pray, visualize it, go on the journey, see what the experiences are, and move forward. Guys, this has been an interesting subject for me to talk to you about. I hope that you enjoyed this connecting to spirit, to analyze, to look at what goes within us is what comes out of us, basically, and how we can all get to the point of having alignment and then get out of alignment and then go back into alignment, have spiritual awakenings, and then we lose it, and then it comes back, searching for the blessings, losing the thought process of the blessings, and then we find it again. It's all part of this human experience that our soul is living, is I don't know, is on the path to. Find the bigger picture. Time and money, no object. What would you be doing? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you all have a very awesome holiday. Before we came on, they told me that the offices were closed Christmas Eve, so I won't have a podcast on Christmas Eve, but know that I will be thinking of you all. And, you can always like, subscribe, and share Connecting to Spirit on Bold Brave TV and follow me on YouTube. If you switch over to my Facebook social group, um, Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, I'm going to do a live angel card reading here afterwards. So I hope that you all have a great and wonderful holiday. I will see you, I guess, in 2 weeks. And find the blessings, share the blessings, and be a blessing. I hope you live the life you love and love the life you live. If not, you're the only one who can change it. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
This has been Connecting to Spirit with Stacy. Tune in each week as Stacy delves into the journey of life, healing, and spiritual connection, inviting listeners to open their hearts, clear their minds, and create the life they love. Right here, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network, powered by B2 Studios.